Greetings everyone. I'm here again to do another video. But today is Thursday the 19th of March 2026. I trust that you are well and that you are coping with what is on your plate today. You remember, those who watched my videos a while back, I started a series, the Epic Story, where I was talking about the Hebrews, the Hebrew Israelites of the Bible. And I debunked the today version of the 1948 return of the Jews to Israel. I said it's false in previous videos, and I'm going to elaborate on it more today. That Israel of 1948 is basically a man-made state. It was engineered. It was engineered just the way the British colonies were given independence in the past, in Africa and elsewhere, where they drew up new borders for peoples and nations, and hence we do have problems in the world today where people are in countries where they are not in their previous borders and territories. So Israel was handed over to the Jews in the Middle East, and the point I want to make is that if you need evidence of what I'm talking about, remember I said in the past this platform doesn't lend itself well for giving evidence and deep study. Make certain statements, and it's up to the individual to research and find out if they want to, if they need to. But as I said before, if this is not information for you and you find it inaccurate for yourself and you're not interested to follow, then you just bounce off and scroll elsewhere. I am interested in the people who want to know the truth. This is about the truth. Now, the story in a nutshell is that the Hebrews, as you can see in the Bible, were punished for the multitude of sins that they rebelled also against God, and against the covenant that He made with them. You'll remember there were covenants made from the book of Genesis already, with Abram, Isaac, and Jacob. And these people basically had to live a particular lifestyle and follow the precepts and laws of God. But if you read the Bible, you'll find out that several times they rebelled against God. They were a stiff-necked people. And God sent prophets like Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, and others that we refer to as the minor prophets, to warn the people and to give them prophecies of what would happen to them if they continue to break the covenant with God. And we know that, for instance, they did continue rebelling, and they fell into that those prophecies that would cause them to be carried away in exile. We know about Babylon, we know about Assyria, those of us that read the Bible. And the last one was when the Romans destroyed Jerusalem and Israel. The Roman general Titus destroyed Jerusalem and the temple in AD 70. But the people were scattered from that time, and they never had a territory, a land, and they were not regarded as a nation anymore. And I mentioned that in previous videos, but I want to give you a summary before I make the point. But as promised in the same books of Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, even Daniel, and the minor prophets, God promised to bring His people, the people, back to their land, and to establish them in peace and safety. Now, the 1948 version, a huge group of Christians in the world followed the doctrine that God has returned the Jews in 1948 and established them there. But the word says that He will establish them in peace. They will live in peace. But the present Israel is not the people. Why do I say that? Because firstly, number one, they're not the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They are converted Jews from Eastern Europe, specifically from the Caucasus, from Ashkenazis they are referred to, and they are not really the people as they claim to be, as well as the rest of the world wants to accept them to be. Now, this issue about to establish them in peace again, there's hundreds of prophecies from these same prophets I've mentioned that indicate that they will be established in peace. However, if you look at it, since 1948 there's been no peace for them. They have been in constant conflict since 1948 when they gained independence. The Arab countries around them attacked them. Obviously, we know in history that they repulsed those attacks and they still stood. And there was the war, the 6-day war, there was the Yom Kippur war, and there was the constant struggle with the Palestinian people, in the West Bank and Gaza. And we know that Israel was in conflict with Lebanon, neighboring Lebanon. And Hamas, for instance, and Hezbollah are liberation groups that over the decades still continue to oppose Israeli rule there. Just a moment. And I'll continue here. So Hezbollah was mainly from Lebanon and Hamas was mainly from Gaza. So presently, 2026, the conflicts continued because a few weeks ago, or just over a week ago, Israel as well as the United States of America attacked first Iran, and now they're locked in a conflict where Iran is defending itself, fighting for its survival, and the two attackers, Israel and the USA, are claiming victory. Contrary to the news, there was no quick victory for Israel and the United States. Presently, Israel is being pummeled by Iranian missiles, and the much bragged about Iron Dome defense is no longer offering defense for Israel. It's been breached several times, and Israel, cities like Tel Aviv and Haifa, are being bombed at will. So much so that Israel has instituted strict censorship rules where there will be heavy penalties for people who share the destruction and the attacks on Israel. That tells you something also. But back to this issue of peace. Those prophets indicated that they will be brought back by God to be established in peace, and there is no peace. It's not. So that's another point that proves that it's not them, as they claim to be. The true Hebrews are still scattered on the earth, in the various nations, scattered in the earth, still to be brought back and established in peace by the Most High God. So I just wanted to share that with you today, something for you to reflect upon. As I said before, if you are fully convinced of the doctrines that are being pushed around in religious circles concerning the present day version of of Israel, the 1948 version of Israel, I want to caution you and say that it's a wrong, it's a false, it's a fake, and it can cause people to be on the wrong path concerning prophetic messages. So I want you to wish you a great day further.